Well, this was my first foray to this particular haunt, and overall, I thought it was well done. I think the pacing and the space in between. I think it kind of there was pros and cons with that. I mean, there were stretches where you walked from section to section, and you didn't really encounter much in terms of actors. But the actors you did encounter along the way, I think, were well done. I think they put a lot of energy into the haunt itself, and I think for me, probably the aspect I found the most favorable was starting outside and walking from one location to the next, then going inside, and then into a haunted house, which was well done, and then exiting at the end. I sort of like that variation. It keeps it fresh, and like I say, overall, I think they made effective use of the theme park. It had a built-in familiarity with it, and I think that lent quite a bit of atmosphere. And I do think the character actors were very well done, and true to form. Basically followed us from one location. There was some overlap there, and in fact, the one actually followed us pretty much back to the parking lot. So I mean, they definitely stayed in character, and I think overall it was definitely well worth the money. And I think a 4 chainsaw rating is what I would rank.
All right, Michael, Nightmare from North Street. This was your first visit to this one out in Santa's Village. What'd you think?
I thought it was a good length and value for $14.
Oh, sorry.
He's been there.
Stop.
He was there last year.
Okay.
I'm just sorry to correct you, but
Ready?
All right. Nightmare from North Street. What'd you think of this year, Mike?
I thought it has a good length and value for $14. Being Santa's Village, it's very important because it's not too scary for kids. Being Santa's Village, I like there's a new walkthrough to the house now where actors surround you, which is a nice touch. And they took out an area where you need to crawl, which was there last year, on your knees, which is much appreciated because I don't like the areas where you have to crawl. So I'm going to give that 4 chainsaws.
Okay. All right. Visit to Nightmare from North Street, Santa's Village. What'd you think this year?
well, I liked it. This is the 3rd year I've gone to this haunt, and I've enjoyed it every year. The first year it was pretty unique how they set it up. Last year was a little different, but this year kind of had the best of both worlds because they took you on a trail, but then there also was an indoor haunt as well, so you were kind of inside, outside. They had a lot of different characters popping out, which was good. Got me a few times, and including, my favorite, Michael Myers. He made like a guest appearance in there too, and kind of made me jump. But the haunt itself is really good. I always enjoy it. This time I'll probably give it about 4 chainsaws, but I really do enjoy it. I enjoy it every single year. I look forward to it, and I do recommend it. And I love being like the nostalgic part of Santa's Village. That's really cool. I love being there.
Yeah, Nightmare from North Street is one. This is our 3rd year in a row visiting this one, and thankfully they made a return to one of my favorite parts from the first time we went, which was the path, the trail through Santa's Village. Not only do you get to see the park at night, and for those of us who grew up on Santa's Village like myself, it's very nostalgic, but also it's a chance for live actors to sneak up on you in many different places. And one of the things they did really well this year is they had a lot of static live actors that you'd actually pass, and they were very static. They even had one lying down upside down on a bench, so it looked like a dummy, and then they'd come up and sneak up on you later. And they took us in a winding path through the park, and then we went through this area with a bunch of werewolves, which was really cool. Werewolves before we got to the barn, and the barn was where the haunt was, and it was bathed in this sort of eerie blue glow. We had to go around the back, and that's where Mike Myers showed up, which was, of course, an extra half a chainsaw all the time there. The haunt itself was quite well done too. Some scenes that were repeated from last year. There was a cannibal scene which was there last year, but there was some really interesting things. There was this funny guy in a skeleton mask. He was just making bad jokes, but he was hilarious as we were walking through this chain link fence area. There was an area with some velvet paintings and a vampire and just some really creative stuff. Liked it a lot. Not extremely high on scares, but some good startle scares and some clever scenes too. And plus after that, when we walked out all the way back, the live actors were following us and things, so they really stepped it up this year. I'm definitely going to give it a 4.5 this year.